In the world of comic books and superheroes, to call a weapon overpowered should conjure the idea of something that can stagger beings who regularly perform feats that will be considered miraculous in the real world. Then to call that same weapon stupidly overpowered denotes a power that shatters worlds, staggers universes, and exists only in the hands of gods. And that's exactly what we're here to talk about today, as I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 stupidly overpowered comic book weapons. Number 10. Mjolnir. After defeating a cosmic storm entity called the God Tempest, the Norse Allfather, Odin, trapped it in a chunk of Uru. He then gave the metal to the dwarves of Nidavellir to craft a hammer for him. They had to use a star to get the forge hot enough to work the metal, and this star exploded during the process. When he first received the hammer that he called Mjolnir, Odin couldn't control it. When he ascended to the throne of Asgard, it sat in his armory for centuries. After Odin added a series of enchantments to it, and after he passed a number of trials to prove himself worthy, Odin's son Thor took possession of Mjolnir for many years. When Nick Fury shook Thor's confidence and made him believe himself unworthy, his former girlfriend, Dr. Jane Foster, assumed the powers and identity of Thor. A weapon of incalculable power, its most famous is weather manipulation. Mjolnir can summon storms and manipulate lightning, wind, snow, rain, and intense cold at disaster levels. It can also quiet these storms when they're naturally occurring. Mjolnir can both protect and absorb energy at cosmic levels, and the hammer allows Thor to fly by holding onto the strap and throwing it. It also allows him to understand every language. Number 9. The Mandarin's Rings. Not to be confused with the 10 Rings as portrayed in Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, the Mandarin's 10 Rings are 10 finger weapons that each possess different powers and characteristics. They were created by Stan Lee and Don Heck for Tales of Suspense issue 50 in 1963. The Mandarin discovered the McLuhan ship and took the rings, learning to control them. On the right thumb, the Matter Rearranger ring allows the Mandarin to manipulate the atomic structure of matter. The right index finger holds the impact beam ring that delivers a blast of concussive energy or intense sound. The vortex beam ring is on the right middle finger, which causes air to move at high speeds, and can also allow the user to fly. The right ring finger holds the disintegration beam, which destroys objects on a molecular level. It also renders the wearer invisible. The right pinky is the black light ring, which creates an area of darkness. The left thumb holds the white light ring, which manipulates a variety of electromagnetic energies. The flame blast ring is on the left index finger and produces flames. The left middle finger has the electro blast ring, which produces electrical energy. The Mento intensifier ring is on the left ring finger and is used to manipulate the thoughts and actions of others. And finally, the left little finger has the ice blast ring that creates intense cold. Number 8. The Staff of One. The Staff of One was created by Brian K. Vaughan and Adrian Alphona for Runaways issue 4, and is an immensely powerful magical artifact tied to the women in the Minoru family line. The staff passed down through the generations to Tina Minoru, a member of the villainous Pride. When Tina attacked her runaway daughter Nico with the staff, it absorbed into the girl's body rather than wounding her. She was able to access it again when she was cut in a later fight, and learned to not only use the staff, but become very proficient with it. The Staff of One is operated by blood magic. To be called forth and operated, a blood sacrifice must be made. This can be from a wound, a minor cut, or even menstruation. Nico once called the staff forth when her gums were bleeding in Runaways issue 9. The amount of blood offered is in direct correlation to the strength and power of the magic it delivers. This weapon allows its user to cast a certain spell only once. For example, if Nico says freeze to ice something over, she can never do that again. Attempting to use the same spell twice will either cause wildly unpredictable magical issues to occur, or nothing at all will happen. When the staff's power wanes, it must be reabsorbed back into the wielder's body. Number 7. Spear of Destiny. The Spear of Destiny, also known as the Spear of Longinus, is the spear that was used by Roman centurion Gaius Cassius to pierce the side of Jesus to make sure that he was dead. Bathed in divine blood, the spear gained vast amounts of divine power. The most famous aspect of the spear was the belief that any commander who possessed the spear would never know defeat. As such, the spear was passed down through many generals, leaders, and conquerors throughout the years, including Constantine and Charlemagne. Adolf Hitler took possession of the spear when the Nazis annexed Austria in 1938. He used the spear to keep American superheroes like the Justice Society out of German-held territories. Hitler also summoned a group of Valkyrie that battled the superheroes. The spear was confiscated by American forces in 1945, only 2 hours before Hitler's suicide. The spear eventually ended up in Russia and in the hands of the terrorist Cobra. who attempted to destroy the Spectre. He was unsuccessful, but it was found that the spear could injure and potentially kill the vastly powerful hero. The spy Nightshade took the item from the Cobra facility and brought it to the United States. Superman, Captain Marvel, and the Sentinels of Magic have all had to utilize the Spear of Destiny to stop an out-of-control Spectre. Number 6. The Ultimate Nullifier. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby for Fantastic Four issue 50, the Ultimate Nullifier appears to be a small, handheld metallic object with no distinct function. The Nullifier actually has the power to completely eliminate any target that the wielder chooses, and the wielder themselves, if their mind and will aren't strong enough. Its effectiveness depends highly on the concentration, mindset, and will of its user. The Ultimate Nullifier was created by the Watcher Emu to stop the Prosilicans from their invasion of multiple planets in his galaxy. When it was fired, it not only destroyed the Prosilican Empire, but 9/10 of the entire galaxy, creating an area called the Barrens. On Earth, the Nullifier is first seen when the Human Torch had to find it on Tar-2, to threaten to use it against Galactus to make him leave Earth. The power of the Nullifier is so great that even Galactus fears it. Most recently, the Griever of all things threatened Earth and the Fantastic Four. Reed Richards asked the Silver Surfer to retrieve the Nullifier to use against her, and the weapon was given to Franklin Richards because he was the only one with the knowledge of the universe to use against Griever. An alternative means was used to defeat her, and the Nullifier was thankfully unused. Number 5. Miracle Machine. The Miracle Machine was created by Jim Shooter and Kurt Swan for Adventure Comics issue 367 in 1968. In the comic, the Miracle Machine was crafted by the Controllers and gifted to the Legion of Superheroes for their assistance in defeating a renegade controller. The machine can turn thought into reality through the power of will, similar to the Green Lantern rings. The machine can be extremely dangerous because it does not differentiate between random thoughts and deliberate ones. So if someone, even jokingly, thought that they wanted to kill someone in the machine's vicinity, the weapon would make that idea a reality. The Time Trapper altered history and attempted to use the Miracle Machine to kill the Legion, and the entire team combined their willpower to defeat the item and used it to return history to its proper order. In Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes issue 250 and 251, Brainiac 5 went insane and attempted to destroy the universe. To achieve this, he used the machine to create a being called Omega. In order to stop the machine, Brainiac's fellow Legionnaire, Matter-Eater Lad, ate the weapon. Its vast energies drove him utterly insane for many years. Most recently, Superman used the machine to rid the universe of Darkseid's anti-life equation at the end of the Final Crisis. Number 4. The Infinity Gauntlet. By itself, the Gauntlet is just a glove. It holds no power. All of its power comes from the 6 assembled Infinity Gems. They are the Time Gem, which allows total mastery over all aspects of time, the Space Gem, which allows limitless manipulation and travels through all aspects of space, the Soul Gem, limitless manipulation of the soul and control of the dead, the Reality Gem, the power to manipulate and alter reality on a universal scale, the Power Gem, controlling unlimited power, and the Mind Gem, allowing unlimited psionic powers, including telepathy and telekinesis. The Infinity Gauntlet gives its user near omnipotence on a cosmic scale. The combined might of all the Watchers, Galactus, the Celestials, Death, Eternity, and Mephisto make up only a small portion of the Gauntlet's power. Only the Living Tribunal and the One Above All can match the Gauntlet for sheer power. Thanos is perhaps the most famous wielder of the Gauntlet. To earn the love of the personification of death, he used the weapon to kill half the people in the universe. Thankfully, this was reversed. But once, simply by getting angry in Infinity Gauntlet issue 2, the Mad Titans of Motion released an energy wave from the Gauntlet that sank the west coast of the United States and Japan, caused tidal waves on the east coast, and shattered the Rainbow Bridge to Asgard. Number 3. Mother Box. Created by the legendary Jack Kirby and premiering in Forever People issue 1 in 1971, the Mother Boxes were created by the new god Himon using Element X. Mother Boxes are sentient supercomputers with vast knowledge, incredible powers, and a symbiotic relationship with their user. Boom Boxes communicate telepathically with their user and speak through a series of pings. Used almost exclusively by the denizens of New Genius, the Mother Box's most famous power is the creation of boom tubes. The boom tubes allow the user to travel as far as galactic distances nearly instantaneously, can be used by individuals or an entire army, and can also cross dimensional barriers. The Mother Box affords a litany of other powers. It can heal its user from fatal injuries and imbue them with energy. As with Orion, it can help them maintain their emotional control. It can merge beings into one more powerful being, And the mother boxes can control machines and possess the accumulated knowledge of the new gods. Its connection to the source makes it omniscient and gives it near unlimited powers of matter and energy manipulation. Number 2. Cosmic Cube. Cosmic cubes are created when a rift is open into the dimension of the Beyonders that allows some of its extra dimensional energy to flow through into the Earth dimension. Once here, the energy can be held within a matrix that is usually shaped into cubes, but can take other shapes. The cube's primary ability is to warp reality. It requires some practice, but a confident and skilled user could create anything they can imagine. In Tales of Suspense issue 79, the scientists of Advanced Idea Mechanics, also known as AIM, opened the first rift into the realm of the Beyonders, and created the first Earth-based cosmic cube. It was later discovered that the cubes are the embryonic form of a sentient being, that would eventually develop a consciousness, based on that of the person using it. It eventually became a mature being of its own free will. The entity Cubic evolved from the AIM cosmic cube. The Red Skull created his own cosmic cube, but it was destroyed by the cosmic-powered villain Korvac. AIM later created a second cube, but its containment was faulty, and it changed the reality of anyone who was near it. Inspired by a dying Captain America, the Super Adaptoid made itself into a container for the cube. Thousands of years ago, the Skrulls developed the first cosmic cube, and it eventually evolved to become the villainous Shaper of Worlds. Number 1. White Lantern Ring. The power rings are incredibly intense, strong weapons, and are basically wish fulfillment tools for their wielders. They can create anything that someone can think of, and their constructs are limited only by their charge power, and the willpower, imagination, and intelligence of the user. Like any power ring, the White Lantern variety allows its user to create constructs, fire blasts of energy, and fly, but that's only the beginning of its power. The White Lantern ring can access any colour of the emotional spectrum, and use the power of any of the various colours of power rings. For example, it can access the rage powers of a red lantern ring, or the fear powers of the yellow lantern ring. The white ring can access the rings of any member of the other colours on the spectrum, and observe them, and they also absorb and store energy from these other rings. The user of the White Lantern ring is able to phase through solid objects and become invisible by bending light waves around them. Using the ring, a person can create a 3-dimensional holographic playback of recorded events. The ring's most incredible power is that it can heal virtually any injury, and can even resurrect the dead in certain instances. The ring is connected to all life, and can see a person's lifespan. Not too shabby for a piece of jewellery. So there we have it folks, 10 stupidly overpowered comic book weapons. I hope you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below if you did. You can follow me on Twitter @PanelsToPixels, subscribe to What Culture Comics, and we'll see you next time.